You are appreciated by me so much, guys, for stopping here and choosing me. Subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing the content that I have been making for you guys thus far. You are appreciated by me, Water Child. Let's dive in here together, the elemental kingdom. I have all these elements here, guys, okay? The water, the air, the fire, and the earth, okay? So speaking of Inkanyamba, the spirit that rules all these elements. So Inkanyamba is the spirit that is more balanced. So it has all these elements depending as to who you are and how the spirit appears to you. All right. So we'll take it from the top, I mean the bottom here, of which is the spirit of the north, the element of earth, okay, because we are on earth here. So we'll have to start with what connects us with nature, the root chakra. So the color for this chakra is red, okay, so it symbolizes our bloodline, our ancestors, the mother and the father, and us as well, our everyday mundane, what we do, what we eat, what we engage in, the community we live in, and everything like that, stuff like that, okay? So remember that most of us, yes, we do have this spirit because of the connection that we have with our own spirit guides, being our own forefathers engaging with or having a pet with the spirit in some way, shape, or form. And for some, it can be that you are chosen by the spirit or whatever the case might be. So you also that adds as to you understanding and knowing by you having the spirit, what is the connection or what was the manifestation of the spirit to you. That also is very important for you to understand, because this will also help you to be able to communicate with the spirit in the best possible way that connects you with the spirit. Okay, so this is where everything starts, okay? Starting with our own spirit guides, our ancestors. So the planet that connects us with the element of earth, being the root chakra itself, okay? It's actually the mass energy, okay? It's the mass energy. So this is the energy that brings the drive, the energy that brings, action in our lives, all right? So for the most part, that's the chakra that has to be more balanced, because once the foundation is not stable, then everything is bound to fall flat on the floor. So this is why I start with the root chakra, okay? Hence, also, that's why at the beginning of the journey, we start with the roots, okay? Strengthening the roots, starting with the color red to strengthen the roots so that everything else doesn't fall in the moment between, guys, okay? So the main thing we have to understand is why our own spirit guides find or really did find the need to ignore, to rather invoke the spirit, okay? It was for protection, it was for wealth, it was for everything else that brings joy and happiness and that type of stability that they wanted at that time, okay? So does this mean that the spirit bring abundance and everything that connected to it, okay? No. The spirit is responsible, is the one that brings order to everything else in our everyday mundane, okay? So I can say it rules both the crown, it rules both the roots, okay? So because of this fact, for you to be able to get everything connected to the waters, you have to go through, or rather have the rite of passage to that. And the rite of passage, it is the Inkanyamba, because it is the governor, it is the gatekeeper. You cannot have access to the spirit without the rite of passage from the spirit itself, okay? You have to understand that. So as our rite of passage is our own spirit guides, our ancestors. That's what connects us to the spirit, okay? So in the olden days, our own spirit guides had to invoke the spirit, okay? Not because nebatwasito or whatever this is, or they were possessed in some way, shape, or form, okay? This was something that was more of a lifestyle, and they literally used this more to kind of like get everything that they wanted, okay? Remember in the olden days, there were kings and queens, and that was the rule of the kings and the queens, okay? They were in charge of such things, all right? So whenever members of the communities had a problem as far as everything connected to the foundation, they will definitely go there for help and whatever this is. And if needs be, the spirit will also be invoked, okay, so that it benefits the community. Hence, that's why you may find that if you have the spirit, you also have amakosi. So it simply means that amakosi within you are the ones who were connected with the spirit, if you know what I mean. Okay, so this is why you will find that you have amakosi, and those amakosi are the ones that actually refers you to what? The spirit. So mainly it was the duty of the king, it was the duty of the queen to engage in the communication with the spirit itself, like being at the river or being by the waters and communicating with the, the river gods, the river goddesses, okay, for the benefit of what? The community. So this was something that was followed in the olden days, understanding the repercussions and the, everything that comes with the spirit, okay, it can be good or bad. So people knew, people understood. So it was a matter of a communal thing, not necessarily an individual thing, all right? So they understood that it is a feisty energy and it's more balanced. So it needs someone who's kind of like balanced, and you know what I mean. So in the olden days, they would definitely, not just anyone can actually communicate with the spirit for maybe to ask for something, for anything else, okay? So everything has some type of an order of some sort, or should I say spiritual laws that were followed at that time, okay? So because of this, you may find that people will go to the royal house for whatever that they wanted, whatever that they were struggling with. Most of the time, it can be fertility, okay? And remember, the person that is responsible for the fertility is who? Is the feminine god, the feminine goddesses, okay? So for you to get through to the goddess, you have to go through the Inkanyamba spirit. So that's one thing maybe people don't necessarily know, okay? So the king knew that, okay, I have to speak with the gatekeeper, that I need access to the goddess. I need to speak with Nomkubulwane. I need to speak with, okay, maybe Nkosazana for wealth, for prosperity, or whatever this is, because each and every spirit has their own aspects or whatever this is that they deal with, okay? So they knew and they understood as to who to invoke, okay, with the help of the Inkanyamba. So that was the whole point as to why the spirit was actually ignited, because the spirit is a feisty energy. The spirit is very uncontrollable in that sense, okay, if you don't necessarily know or understand the know-how as to how to deal with it in the first place, okay? So they knew that for you to be able to connect with the spirit, you have to be masculine. You have to be a masculine energy. That was how things were done in the olden days, okay? You have to be a masculine energy to communicate with the spirit. And for you to communicate with the spirit, you have to be stable. Say you have to be a family person, rather married. You have to be married and also have a wife, okay? Remember that the spirit is more feisty and it is ruled by the energy of fire, regardless of it residing in the waters and stuff like that. The thing that you are not aware of is that it controls more by this, the feisty energy, the spirit of the south, of which is the element of fire. So it burns a lot. So that's why you have to make sure that you are a masculine and you are stable and you have a wife, okay? There is a feminine energy, the water element, next to you to support, so that the spirit can be able to communicate with you, okay? Exactly. So for you to be able to communicate, you have to have those qualities, okay? And then there will be a communication going on between the spirit and whoever will be communicating with the spirit. And for that, rituals were performed, ceremonies were held prior, with the understanding. It was a sign of respect. It was a sign of honor, okay? They relied more on those things in the olden days, okay? So everything was done accordingly. And then if the answer is yes, the members of the community, they knew, okay, because the spirit is more elemental like that, it will definitely send a bird being pekwa. I don't know if some of you know this. It's a falcon. Okay, pekwa. Normally you can see it on a Sunday because it works with the sun also. Okay. So it comes on a Sunday and it feeds on chicken. So if the answer is yes from spirit, that whatever that you ask for, it's granted. Like your plea is now heard, and you know, whatever that you ask for, like the answer is yes. You know, it will take a chicken out of the community or any house wherever. Okay, it can be specifically from the person who asked from. Okay, the king, okay, something like that. So it will definitely take that chicken. This is more like a sign that it's a yes, and then it flies. That is a sacrifice, okay? Or it will take that chicken, and if it drops the chicken, then it's a no. Then people will know that it's a no. So this simply means that whoever asks for whatever did not meet the requirements, okay? It can be you wanting a child when you are not married, you know, things and stuff like that. Or it can be whatever the case might be, depending on whatever that you have been asking for. So they understood the spiritual language. There was a spiritual language that was used in the olden days and stuff like that to communicate with the spirit, okay? So they were more over like traditions and stuff like it was more like a tradition, guys, okay? So most people will relate it to the spirit, okay? Already I have a clue as to what type of again we do differ, guys. Zulu, we have Tongas, we have Matswana, we have Basotho and stuff like that. So there are those that are more connected with the spirit depending as to where they come from, or rather their culture, guys, okay? You know what I mean? So there were some type of tribes that really followed that head on. Like this was more of a lifestyle, guys, okay? So hence that's why there is no way you wouldn't have this spirit in that sense, okay? If you come from and you have a connection with Amakosi, you know, things and stuff like that, guys, because this was something that they most likely relied or depended on more than anything. They connected more with the elements as well, especially that of the waters, guys, okay? And also bearing in mind that there is a right way of doing things and the wrong way of doing things, because there is also light and dark in everything else. So similarly to the spirit, we do have those people who invoke the spirit in a manner that is perhaps not rightful. Hence, that's why in the olden days, they knew that for you to invoke this spirit, it simply means that you are stable. So you want something that is more, that makes sense, okay? This is not something that you can play with. Say, for instance, you want a child, you are married, you want a child, okay? You are struggling, so you need some type of an assistance, not for your own greedy type of needs that you might need, okay? So the difference between now and then is because people invoke the spirit for their own, you know, their own selfish needs, okay? For some, it's not. For some, it is, okay? You may find that someone wants something that is not even necessary to that extent, and you may find that the person is single. That's why you may find such people who invoke the spirit for their own benefit, for their own personal need. They end up not having, if you are a man, you end up not having a wife. If you are a woman, you end up not having a man, because you must go there as a pair, so that the spirit recognizes that you are in a you are in a union of some sort, okay? Because in the end, you end up becoming a partner to the spirit or anything of some sort, okay? It ends up being your, okay, whatever you may call it, okay? As in like a spiritual husband of some sort. So that was the reason, because they understood how the spirit operates. Okay, so if you do things like that, you may find that you will never find peace and all that. Okay, that's the only thing that these days it's happening, because people are not doing things accordingly or the way they used to. And remember, the spirit is responsible for the cosmic, the cosmic order, guys, as to the rain, when the rain must fall, when winter must come, you know, things and stuff like that. The spirit is responsible of that. Okay, it brings order and all of that. So this is why we may find that we find ourselves in this type of climate changes that don't necessarily make sense, because now there's a lack of control that is happening. There is no order in that sense. Okay, yeah, anything like that, something like that. And like, so this is why most people, they call Inkanyamba Mongwametsi. Ke Mongwametsi, and whatever that you want to ask, you go through Mongwametsi. You see what I mean? And Mongwametsi will actually invoke what is relevant to you. If you come with bad intentions, it will ignite anything connected to that. Okay, it doesn't necessarily mean that the spirit is bad in that sense. It all depends on an individual. What is it that you want, and for what purpose, guys? Because what you want is exactly what you get. More like, if you're asking things for your selfish reason, the spirit will align you with that exactly. The spirits that are more selfish. You get what I mean? But if you are doing it for the community and you are doing it for the good of the community or your family, the spirit will also align you with what is relevant to you and your situation. You get what I'm saying, guys? That's one thing that people have to understand, that the spirit governs everything in the waters. And in the waters, there are good and bad energies going on in there. Depending as to your plea, what is it that you want? It will align you with your plea. You get what I'm saying, guys? So in the olden days, our forefathers understood that the spirit loved to pray for itself, as in, like, for instance, when it shapeshifts into a falcon and takes a chicken itself. So it prefers something that is more hot, unlike you slaughtering a chicken and stuff like that, okay? Because remember that when you slaughter, you open a portal, and once you open a portal without an understanding as to whom are you opening a portal for, anything can actually be attracted to whatever. So you might attract any spirit there is without you understanding. So this is why in the olden days, they will go and ask before. Because once you sacrifice something, like for instance, I've noticed that people will sacrifice before, then ask, as in like, okay, this is more of a communication. Such things were not done in the olden days. The relevant people will go and communicate with the spirit. Okay? Like I said, if the answer is yes, the spirit will come and take the sacrifice itself. And then once it has granted you whatever that you want, only then it will tell you that, come and thank me with so and so, with this and that. That's how things were done. But moreover, it's more like these days, people go and slaughter and slaughter and slaughter and attract each and everything that dwells there in the waters, and they come and cry foul if some things go wrong or anything like that, guys, because the spirit doesn't necessarily operate like that. Our own spirit, guys, was not using the spirit in that sense. So in a nutshell, the reason why I'm making this video is because I'm aware that the spirit is being misused. Okay, it is being misused. The spirit will tell you what it wants, when and how. Okay, if you want something, you ask. And then if the spirit will grant you, it will definitely grant you. That's how things were done. Okay, and once it has granted you, it will tell you, "Ntebuge," like so and so and so. Okay. In a nutshell, it's more like the wrath of the spirit is somewhat being ignored, regardless of the visibility that is being shown to us in the 3D, guys, okay? Because of the things that are wrongly being done at the wrong time and wrongly even, okay? Because our forefathers really, they understood the when and how, as far as communicating with the spirit is concerned, guys, okay? And also, remembering that the spirit governs each and everything that rules in the waters here. Hence, the reason why I'm making this video is to make you aware, guys, as to the connection of other spirits as far as the spirit is concerned. Okay, hence that's why I'm starting with the root chakra, okay, where things begin, where things start, as in like the foundation side of things, as the connection with the spirit, and our own spirit guides and stuff like that. Okay, how are we connected with the spirit moving forward, and how the spirit actually affects our lives moving forward, and the chakras based on that, and also the elements that comes with that. Okay, so also this, I feel like, to definitely give you a clue as to what type of spirits, or what the element, what type of element the spirit comes with you, or to you with. Okay, so it can be that the Inkanyamba in you comes with the element of fire, or it comes with the element of water or air. So such things will definitely, you will definitely get to understand and know as to why. All right, and also it will definitely also tell you as to the phases, as far as the phases of your journey where you're hitting at. Okay, because also your dreams will definitely explain it all. Okay, guys, so for now I'll leave it here, and I will definitely make part 2 as far as this is concerned. All right, for now, guys, I appreciate you. If you are new, do subscribe and give it a thumbs up, so that you can, be up to speed as far as the, this content is concerned. So as I come back, guys, I appreciate you. From me to you guys, I'm sending you love and light. Until then, you take care. Bye.